Hi everyone, it's Coops here from Energia, bringing you a video review today of the Petzl Spatha rope knife. The Petzl Spatha rope knife. I picked up one of these babies recently from one of the local shops here in Melbourne. I was tossing up between this and the Edelred model, and Edelred model a little bit lighter, a little bit cheaper, but I ended up going for this one, and I'll talk to you about why in just a minute. As you can see from the knife, it's a plastic handle, folding blade with serrated edge right near the front of the or back of the knife edge, and then a drop point blade near the front. Very sharp from the factory, and opens out into a lock blade like so. The addition of the little lanyard is my own doing. There's a small hole. There's enough room for you to feed a tiny bit of 1.5 2 mil cord in there, and to tie yourself a lanyard so you can clip it here. But you can also see a large ring there at the front of the knife. This is one of the selling points of the knife, in fact, which means you can clip a beaner to it and clip it straight to your rack or your harness. The problem with the Edelred one, it too has a hole like this, but many carabiners don't fit through it, nor does the carabiner rotate easily on it as it does on the Petzl, and that was one of the reasons I went for this Petzl Spatha knife. The word Spatha, in fact, comes from the Latin. It referred to a sword that was used in the Roman Empire and later in the Viking Empire, about a 2 to 3 foot long sword, and this much shorter version is not really a sword, but a handy name and a handy knife. So clips onto a carabiner, can go onto your rack or onto your harness. It's meant to be openable with one hand, and indeed it is. It's not hard to open with one hand. You can take hold of that and pull it open. But even better way of doing it really is, as I used to do with my old Opinels, is to knock the end of the blade against something hard, like that. It just shifts open that way, and you can open it as well, or even just pulling it against it with your teeth, holding that circular part hard, opens very easily. You can open it with gloved hands as well. Brought my gloves along here for the demonstration, but hardly needed really, because you can grab hold of that ring part just so easily anywhere. So you grab hold of the ring part, push and open, just like so. So very easily done, or you can use it against something hard. I wouldn't use it on my hand in case I cut myself, but that kind of action will open the knife as well. Or even better, with a lanyard, you can do it anywhere as well. Doesn't lock closed. You could rig a lanyard in such a way that you could hold it closed, but that's a little bit kind of manky. Personally, I prefer a longer lanyard, but that's all I had at the time. But I think I'm quite happy with that. And you can see with the lanyard, I can also then clip that either to my rack, to my harness, or, as you saw at the beginning of the video, using a little mini carabiner just for more domestic use. So I can keep it in my cook set for cutting salami, bread, butter, cheese, and then when I go for a climb, transfer it to my pack. Well, where would you use one of these babies? Well, I wouldn't take it on most rock climbs, but I'd certainly take it on every alpine climb and any super long rock climb where you might have to improvise, make a retreat, cut some tat for an abseil, and that's certainly its use. I remember carrying a knife once, it was my old Opinel knife, on a big route in Scotland in winter on the Crag Megith, and the leader took a 70-foot fall on an ice face about 1,000 feet up. The rope pulled up hard against the belay knots. We were wrapped around just a small icicle. It was pretty scary. All that weight of the fall coming onto that single belay point, and 2 others of us hanging off it. But that rope pulled up so tight, those knots pulled up so tight, the only way to get ourselves free in the end was to cut the knots. Luckily, I had my Opinel knife with me, and we could cut ourselves free, rig up a descent and get off that baby, get off that hill. Well, this is to replace my Opinel knife. It's a plastic handle, a bit lighter than the Opinel, than the wooden one. It's a wider blade. The serrated teeth make cutting through tat and rope very, very easy indeed. This is pretty serious. I cut some 8mm cord just yesterday and it just rips through it without too much effort. And the fact that you can open it so easily with one hand and a gloved hand, to me, is a big bonus. So there it is. Locks open very nicely. Goes in the hand. I've got a big hand. You can see it fits in the hand quite well. The Petzl Spatha knife retails for around 60 Australian dollars in most shops. You might be able to find it a bit cheaper, but I'm happy with my purchase. I hope that you find a decent rope knife and that this review is helpful. If so, let me know. Give me the thumbs up. Take care. Coops signing out from Energia.